Hey everybody, this is Marty McDowell from the Can My Child Play Safety Minute. Very unique thing. One of the big things that we talk about is with student athlete safety, it doesn't just apply to regular sports as basketball, football, outside sports. And one of the big things that we're really interested in as well is educating people in the boxing world. So man, we was just sitting here having a regular conversation. We just donated a tub to the UMAR Boxing Gym on West North Avenue in Baltimore City. So we're here with the director of the program, Marvin McDowell.
How's everybody?
Good, good. Hey Marv, so we sitting here talking, and just really in regards to student athlete safety, one of the things you had just mentioned basically was nobody can even come in here and box without registering with
USA Boxing.
USA Boxing. Tell us a little bit more about that, and tell us your reason for that, because the thing is, when we sit here and as parents, we as student athletes, one of the things we try to get people to come out of the mindset of just saying, you know, can my child play and why isn't my child playing? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we'll just turn our student athletes over like, here, you take them. Mm-hmm. And in the event that something goes wrong, now it's your fault. Right. So tell us how you protect yourself and protect your student athletes and young boxers from the community.
Well, first of all, you know, like when kids come to join the UMAR Boxing program, we like for them to get an examination to see if something wrong with them first, you know. See, because sometimes they might have underlying problems, and them coming in this boxing program, man, will really enhance whatever's going on with them. So we have to be safe, you know. Boxing is a hurting sport, you know, and we want these kids to be as safe as they can be. Now, when you join the UMAR Boxing program, you have to register with USA Boxing. That's the governing body of boxing, amateur boxing here in this country. You know, USA Boxing has an insurance program that covers the kids. You know, the building is covered. You know, the coaches are covered. Everybody that's involved in boxing in this program will be covered by USA Boxing.
Got it. Now, Marv, you know, one of the things that we constantly educate parents on is to ask the questions, right? But the thing is, not only do we really ask them to ask the questions, one of the things we emphasize to parents, be forthright with your child's medical diagnosis.
That's right.
Because like you just said, you don't let your student athlete or your child walk in here and you know they may have asthma, they may have sickle cell, especially in our communities. And man, these are things that we emphasize to parents. Give the uncut version so therefore you can be prepared. If your kid got asthma, send that pump with them. If they got, you know, sickle cell, you know, guess what? There's no crime with sickle cell. But the thing is, let us know that the child has sickle cell. So now we won't be overexerting the kid. Right. We'll maybe giving them more rest breaks and things like that.
Yeah, it gives us a chance to really get into this kid and really know how to keep him going when he's sick, when he's feeling bad. You know what I'm saying? You know, if we don't know, anything can happen, you know?
Repeat that, Mark, please, because that emphasizes what we always say.
You know what I'm saying? You know, like anything can happen at any time.
Right.
If we don't know, what can we do about it?
Right, exactly.
So we should have a warning or, you know, if anything that's pre-existing going on with these children, so we'll know what to do.
Exactly.
You know, we don't want to be blamed for anything. We're only doing what we do.
Yeah.
You know, these sports, we love these sports, man. And you know, I've been involved in boxing for the past 50 years, all right? I'm 62, right? I started boxing when I was 12 years old. So I got 50 years in this sport, and I haven't been hurt since, so I don't want nobody else to get hurt.
Right.
So the things that I know, you know, like, see, boxing is all about the technique. When a kid comes in this program, you know, a lot of people think they're gonna jump right in the ring. No, it don't work like that. You know, not in here. You know, you gotta learn the basics, the proper jab. First of all, you gotta get in shape to box. So, you know, I have this plaque, right? When the kids come in, they gotta warm up, you know? So you don't wanna shock your body, all of a sudden you're just getting in, you're doing all this crazy stuff, man. You know, so from the experience that me being in here and being in the ring and actually being touched, you know, all this stuff makes a big difference. I'll have the information for you. Ain't no shortcuts to the success in this thing, man. Ain't no shortcuts. So, you know, you got a lot of people that think that they know about the sports, and they know about things that goes on with it. You know, they watch it on TV, man. I actually did it. So anything that come out my mouth is real, you know, and I gotta give them this real stuff because you cannot play boxing. You can play a lot of other sports, but you can't play boxing.
No, right.
You know?
Hey Marv, you know, I always tell a funny story that, you know, you and I was probably in my mid-30s and probably later 30s, maybe mid-30s, and I was working out at a boxing gym down in another part of town in East Baltimore. So we were at a exhibition, and I knew Marvin from before, you know, from the community, and a kid from my gym was fighting, and this kid, I think this was his first fight. I just think that he was more shocked than anything in regards to the way his opponent came at him. And Marv whispered to me, he said, "Oh, that's the gym you working at over there." And look, and Dave, and I start coming down here the next day. And even me thinking I knew how to, at 30, I ain't fighting nobody in mid-30s. I'm just trying to lose a couple pounds and stay in shape. And I remember I used to be over here in front of that mirror right there, right? Doing, Marv, first thing I walked in, Marv taught me how to jab. He taught me how to, you know what I'm saying, really, you know, my footwork and all these things. That's why at 53, I'm still good at it because Marv taught me really how to do it, you know?
And to both your point, like, you can't just jump into sports.
No.
And this is a mistake that a lot of coaches make.
Right.
Especially now, coming out of COVID, you know, they're excited to get back on the field or on the court. They're rushing the kids to get in shape too soon.
Yeah.
You gotta have that acclimatization period. You know,
first
at least
of all,
7 to 10 days.
You have to get somebody that know what they're doing.
Exactly.
And know the sports that they're into. You know, I'm saying, man, it's crazy because people have in their mind that things is one way, but it's altogether different, man. You know, and see, the thing of it is, man, is that I'm not gonna lie about it. You know?
No.
If a kid is not talented in the sport that they want to get into, I tell them they need to play ping pong or something, right? Or shoot pool or something, man.
Especially when we're talking about
Thank
this.
you for your honesty,
You know,
right?
you gotta be
mess
real
around.
about this, man, because a lot of times their life is on the line.
Oh, sure, of course.
You know, and see, boxing's a hurting game, man. You know, and when I put these kids in the ring, I want them to have a better chance of winning than anything. So if they're not prepared, they're not competing for me. You know, because I'm in there with them.
Sure.
You know,
I remember you used to tell me all the time, if you ain't sweating, I ain't doing no work.
Yeah.
Yeah. You still say that?
Yeah.
See,
Because I was sweating just as hard as
yeah,
them, man.
of course.
You know,
You used to tell me, man, if you ain't sweating, you ain't doing no work. You know, for sure, I need to be sweating just as hard as you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You there's not many real teachers in boxing no more. You know, and see, I come from the old school. I was trained by, you know, contenders. You know, like one of my trainers was Jimmy McAllister. You know, he was, he was a great boxer. You know, and if you can check the record, here's some history you can check out. He's the first man on record to fight Willie Pep to a draw. His name was Jimmy McAllister. He's the only man on record that fought Willie Pep to a draw. So back during that time, you fight a man to a draw like that, you know, you really won the fight.
Wow.
You know?
Wow. So
And
that
I'm
was
saying you can check the record book, man.
Wow. So how long was the average ring? I mean, the average fight back in the
The average fight was 15 rounds. You know,
Good
that's
gracious.
you know, like there's 4 rounders, 6 rounders, 8 rounders, and 10 rounders, and then 15 round championships.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I'm saying you can't imagine, man,
Wow.
what kind of shape you had.
Oh, you had to be in shape.
You know.
Well, Marv, let me say this. What's the biggest misconception that people have about boxing?
That you don't have to think to do it.
Okay.
Boxing is a thinking man's
Sweet
sport.
science is what they call
You
it.
know,
Yeah.
it's like
Sweet science.
you
Here we
know,
go.
it's like you are trying to outdo the person that's in front of you.
Okay.
You know, and see too, boxing has so many different components along with it, man. Structure, discipline, camaraderie. I'm saying all these characteristics you need just to be a productive person in society, man.
Right,
You
right.
can get out of boxing, conscience, respect.
Sure.
I'm saying, so, and then following rules and regulations. You know, here's an example I always like to put out, all right? You can have two guys, right? They could be giants, but you got this referee. You could be a small guy, you could be a big guy, whatever. You can have these guys competing, just turning each other up. They want to win so bad, they'll do whatever they need to do, all right? This little guy come in, stop! And just like that, man, they stop. And they have to wait for them to say, continue.
Right.
So I'm saying if they follow rules like that in life, man, how far would they be in society?
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
So that's the effect that boxing has on the people's psyche, man.
Right.
There's rules, there's things you can do, you can't do.
Right.
So if you take them same characteristics in life,
Yep.
man, you got an awesome person, man.
And Marv, you know, the big thing, and keep in mind, everybody, you know, we right in the heart of Baltimore City.
Right in the hood, man.
We right in the hood. And thanks to boxing gyms and organizations, and especially the UMAR Boxing Gym, you know, especially the Upton Boxing Gym, you know, really, Marv, you know, you all, and we just talked about that. You say you lost a couple boxers over the last couple of years, and you know, whether it's the violence to the streets, you know what I mean, just to the realistic realities of Baltimore City. You know, 2 blocks up the street is where North in Pennsylvania, where the actual the Freddie Gray uprising was. And Marv, you know, how significant is, because this is the thing, I think people have such a misconception about Baltimore City. You know, and I think that at the end of the day, our city is no different than any other big city.
There's a lot of hype, man. There's a lot of hype, you know. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in this city, man.
Right.
And it wouldn't be going on if it was so dangerous, man.
Right.
Blacks,
not positive stuff, you
right.
mean?
Oh yeah,
of course.
Blacks are dangerous to themselves, man. You know, I'm saying they need organizations and people like us, man, to make them aware of who they are, and what they can do, and what kind of life they can have.
Right.
All they gotta do is give themselves a choice and a chance.
Yep. Easier said than done from a 62-year-old, a 62-year-old wise man.
Hey, man,
you know what I mean?
I'll tell you one thing, I wouldn't have been around here this long, man.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. Easier said than done. Easier said than done coming from a 62-year-old wise man.
I was given a choice, and I just took that chance, man.
But let me ask you this: how significant? Because you said you've been boxing for 50 years. So how significant was it for you? Because let's say you look at the Javante, you know, local hometown guy. Look at Floyd. You know what I mean? You know, one of the more, when you see success, you know, I like Floyd. You know what I'm saying? That's my man. Just because he flosses and he makes no apologies about it.
Right.
But again, this was something that he bought into. He made the choice to buy into this at an early age.
Right.
Same way with you. You know, obviously, you know, with Javante in a sense.
You know, like, boxing is the only sport that you can inflict your will as much as you want, and you know, you'll get applause, and you'll be rewarded.
Right.
But what I'm saying, all these
you said boxing is the only sport you can inflict your will. Wow.
You know,
That almost got past me.
You can almost destroy somebody, man.
Sure.
And you'll get applause.
Right.
And you'll get rewarded.
Right.
So all these old so-called bad guys out here, man, you know, they ain't that bad. I got all the bad boys with me, man, because they're getting something for being bad.
Yeah. How about that?
You know what I'm saying? People just don't look at the situations, man.
Right.
I done seen times, man, we have these guys, man. Oh man, I'll come here, I'll fight anybody, right?
They think.
So I said, just sit down a little bit, man, just watch these guys fight. You know? And he started, oh man, I don't know, man. They started scratching.
Sure.
Yeah, man, this stuff is real, man.
Right.
You know, and that's what these kids have to experience. Real stuff.
Right.
Real stuff is mind changing, man.
Right.
You know, we just got to be what we are supposed to be in this community, man, and take these kids under our wing, man, and just show them, give them life. show them life, man.
You know, our current governor, not, well, I can't call Wes the governor yet, but I know Wes Moore and I had talked, and one of the things we had talked about, what does Baltimore City need? And, you know, Wes made a very good point. He said, you know, we need internal belief and external relief.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I just think that that's so true. But again, like you say, we have to believe in what it is that we can do and how successful we can be.
And we have to be the change that we want, man.
Exactly.
You know,
Right.
we can't tell these kids not to do this and do that.
Right.
And we doing, look, man, smoking ain't good for you.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? How can we tell them that it ain't good for you? They looking at you saying, doing your thing, man. It don't make any sense.
Well, the thing is, you gotta look, you know, in certain communities like this, or, you know, inner cities all over the world, where what you see and what you want to emulate can, you know, it can't be any type of hypocrisy in regards to that.
Right.
You know, like you said, you know, you can't say don't smoke and you study, you know, or whatever it may be. Don't be, in other words, don't do what I'm doing.
Right.
Do better than me. Like as a parent, you tell your kids that, but at the end of the day, you know, you showing me like, well, it must be all right if you're doing it.
Right.
You know, clearly you're making it. So again, why wouldn't I do it? You know, as opposed to me saying, hey, you know, being a better example as well. So Marv, talk to me, man. You got some, what professional fighters or professional what professional boxers you working with coming out of UMAR right now?
Well, I got one professional boxer that I'm working with. His name is Ahmed Muhammad Jones. We call him Mojo. Let Mojo handle it.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I had him since he was like maybe about 13. You know,
That age where
20,
it's
yeah.
so,
Yeah, and,
right,
and
you
I'm
can
saying,
go either way.
Look, and he was going either way, man. You know, he was a job basketball player, man, but he was too short.
Right,
You know,
right,
so
right.
in boxing, they got all sizes,
Sure,
right?
of course.
So, you know, like, I was working with him and he steadily learning. So I'm saying he been into it.
Right.
You know?
Oh, wow.
And he had maybe 40, 50 amateur boxing
Oh, wow.
matches.
Really?
man.
How old
Yeah.
is he now?
He's 22 now.
Wow. So he's pro now? Oh,
Yeah.
what's up?
So we turned pro about a couple of years ago.
Uh-huh.
And he's 2-0.
Got it.
And, you know, he's 2-0, 2 knockouts.
Hmm.
You know, and we went up to Philly about a couple of weeks ago for his third fight,
Got it.
but they pulled out.
Okay. Cool,
You know,
cool.
so, you know, we still got paid because we signed the contract.
Oh, sure.
We
Good
got
stuff.
nothing to do with all that
Good
stuff.
stuff.
man.
Good stuff.
You know?
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So, you know.
Is Floyd picking anybody up out of Baltimore?
Well,
other
yeah,
than-
yeah. Well, you know, like his promotional company, they you know, Mia, Kenny Ellis' daughter, from up. They got a lot of people from up there.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, you know,
okay.
so I'm not saying it ain't spread around yet.
Right.
But,
Don't worry. It'll come.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm
It'll
saying
come.
if you can fight, you can fight.
Man, let me say this. This is one of the things that I've learned recently. Making an impact and doing the right thing and making an impact in our communities for the causes that we're advocating for. It's a long game, man.
Yeah.
It's a long game. I mean, because at the end of the day, if you're doing something for the right reason and you're consistent with it,
Yeah.
somebody watching. Guess what? Somebody gonna be watching this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For sure. Somebody's gonna be watching this. And again, we're consistent in what it is that we're doing. All we're doing is just talking about a different sport, but we telling parents the same thing. The same thing applies for student athlete safety, even in the boxing ring.
That's right.
At every sport.
every sport.
Even in the boxing ring, for sure.
And see too, in boxing, especially specifically amateur boxing, a lot of people don't know that amateur boxing ranks 23rd as far as children's sports injuries.
Wow.
23rd.
Did y'all hear that? Amateur boxing ranks 23rd among student athlete sports injuries. Wow.
Yeah. I'm saying because I collect all the data, man. You know,
We
I
do
can-
too.
I can
We do
show
too.
you what I'm talking about,
Right.
man. You know, let's see, wrestling, football, baseball,
I'm sure soccer
what else?
somewhere in
Soccer.
soccer.
Concussion.
Yes,
Yeah.
there. Lacrosse.
Yeah.
amateur boxing don't even make the list.
Wow.
Well, Marv, this is what we realize, right? So, unfortunately, I mean, this is just our mission, and people have no idea of the student athletes that have passed since we got to a national. So Jordan passed in 2018. Man, I'm gonna tell you, it's probably 40 plus kids that have died across the nation from sports-related injuries. Cardiac arrest, heat stroke, you know what I'm saying, heat-related, and just a whole list of things. But man, we study traumatic head injuries. Man, that's the interesting thing, because the thing is, if it doesn't happen in your geographical area, people don't acknowledge it. Right. Mom, we deal with that. We get, man, a kid just passed. Was it yesterday?
2 days ago.
2 days ago. Where was that at?
I don't recall what state it was.
I got it on my phone.
See, listen here though. See, here's what a lot of people don't understand. It all starts in practice.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? If you're not doing things the right way in practice, you know, it's going to show up. Just like in boxing, right? See, a lot of times these kids in their boxing, it's like they're trying to prove something, you know? So they get there, man, they be beating. Soon as I see them slugging and beating and banging, I stop. Look, you work on this, you work on that. See, because a lot of people, when they go into a fight, they go into a fight damaged from the training. Most guys are hurt before the fight.
Oh, wow.
And when they do go into the fight, they have smaller gloves.
Right.
Some don't wear headgears. Right. So those smaller gloves will irritate whatever's going on.
Wow.
You know, but a lot of people don't think like, a lot of times fights are lost in the gym.
Well, you know what? That goes what we say all the time, that real prevention starts before practice. David, I'll let you talk about real prevention. What is real prevention, you know, in regards to not running punishment drills and stuff like that?
Man, you have to do away with that altogether in all sports. First of all, you don't want to do anything to punish an athlete that they need to do to train and improve their technique, their skill. It doesn't make sense to do it, because once they are required to do it in practice, they're going to have an aversion to it. They're not going to want to do it. Right. So it doesn't make sense to punish them in that way. And to me, it doesn't even really make sense to punish an athlete for something they've done outside of the sport, actually.
Right.
So what you need to do as a coach, you need to figure out ways to bring the best out of them and explain to them how it is, you know, that they need to approach being an athlete. Because a part of it is being able to be disciplined enough to make certain you're doing what you need to do to improve, and also not doing what everybody else does. You got to separate yourself from everybody else. In order to be great, you can't do what everybody else is doing. So you may see an athlete on another team, you know, acting out or doing something crazy, but is that going to further them along as an athlete? It's not. So you have to be disciplined enough to do what it is you're supposed to do, not just when you're in practice, but outside of practice. And as Umar was saying earlier, you know, if you're disciplined and you're coached the right way, it's going to carry over into the other facets of your life.
Well, you know what they call that? They call that, especially when you talk about those habits, that's called mastering the mundane.
Yeah.
Right? And guess what? People, and I ask kids this all the time. You know, we come out, we speak. Hey, you know, show of hands. How many kids put their seatbelt on when they get in the car? You know, how many kids wash their hands when they go in and out the bathroom? How many kids make their beds up? Now, we're dealing with teenagers, of course, so it's not going to be the masses. However, a lot of them, you know, raise their hands. And then when you ask them, how many of you all say yes sir, no sir? You know, a lot of them raise their hands. And then when you ask them, why do you do that? Oh, this is what I was taught. Or this is this. Matter of fact, this one always gets them. Do you tie your shoes every day? Now, I tie my shoes every day. Why? Oh, because I don't want to trip over my shoes. Why you put your seatbelt on? Okay, I don't want to get in an accident. It's for my safety. Right. But what is it really? It's habit. These are mastering the mundane habits. So if a student athlete, you know, again, if you're a boxer, if you're, whatever athlete you may be, guess what? You got to get you already know I got to get the proper amount of rest. Same thing we talk about all the time, parents. Proper amount of rest. I'm going to get the right nutrition. You know, I'm going to fall back on sugar. I'm not going to be up playing video games and on social media all night in the process of having to do a bunch of things. So we already know we ain't gonna be doing these things. So you get in the habit of getting proper rest, staying hydrated, you know, all these things in regards to being a successful athlete. Because guess what? As Marv just said, it's gonna show in the ring, it's gonna show on the field, It's going to show in the court if you're not doing these things.
Right.
You know, so again, these are things that in regards to real prevention, this is what it looks like. You know, we have to get the mindset to be preventive where, like David said, we're not running, coaches shouldn't be running punishment drills. Coaches should let kids get acclimated. Like Marv just said, the average injury happened long before you even get in the ring for competition if you're not training the right way.
Right.
So parents, be mindful of these things. And I implore to you, teach your student athlete to advocate for themselves. If it don't seem right, 2 things. Make sure they tell them to always listen to their body. If their body tells them to stop, stop. If somebody does something, a coach or an adult that they're not comfortable around or asking them to do something they're uncomfortable with or to their teammate, have them speak up or encourage them to speak up. Even if they say something to you, then you can advocate for them, but at least educate your student athlete to advocate for themselves.
Yeah, and then too, here's a question, right? A lot of people don't know the difference between a coach and a trainer.
Break it down, Marv. We got 3 minutes left.
A trainer puts the information in. A coach brings it out.
Can you repeat that, Marv?
A trainer put the information in. A coach brings it out.
Right.
So if you got a coach and a trainer under one situation, you got an awesome person. You got an awesome somebody that can really give it to you all around.
Right.
But people never think about that.
Right.
A coach gets it out of you. A trainer puts it in you.
Right. Good point. Good point.
But nobody never
That
really
down.
breaks that down.
Yeah.
You know, they just say coach. Trainer. A trainer gives you that information, shows you the moves, put the moves in you, stuff like that. And a coach, hey, why don't you work that jab? Double that jab up. But if you don't know how to double that jab up from the technique that the trainer put in you, they ain't gonna happen.
Good point. Hey Marv, real quick, man. What's going on with what do you think about these internet sensation boxing? Jake Paul. That's his name, Jake Paul.
Well, a lot of them be trained by couch coaches, man.
Couch coaches.
You know, like they sit on weekend and watch a fight. Oh, I'm gonna try that when I go to the gym. Man, it's dangerous, man. It's very dangerous, man. And like I say, you do boxing. You don't play boxing, man. Your life is always on the line. Now, sometimes people can get away with it, right? But somebody that's specifically trained by a good trainer, got the heart, got the ability. Hey, man, I can't see nobody beat. There ain't no game, man.
Good point. Hey Marv, thanks for sitting with us today, man. And let me say this. We literally just turned the camera on. We came in here for something else with, the Cool First Transport Second Solo Tubs. We were donating to the boxing gym at Cool First Transport Second Solo Tub, the company. Please follow us at Cool First Transport Second. Follow us on the Instagram, the Jordan McNair Foundation Instagram. Follow us on Jordan McNair on Twitter. Follow us on Jordan McNair Foundation on Facebook. Marv, tell us where we can follow you at. Tell us the address if some parent will bring their student athlete down.
Well, first of all, I'm UMAR Marvin McDowell. I'm the founder, president, and executive director of the UMAR Boxing Youth Development. No hooks before books. Put the guns down, put the gloves up. You can find me on, our website is nohooksbeforebooks.org. My Facebook page is UMAR Marvin McDowell. And my, what's it?
Twitter.
Not Twitter. Instagram is UMAR Marvin.
UMAR Marvin on Instagram. At UMAR Marvin, for sure.
Hey, if anybody wanna, give this stuff a try, it will change your life. We are the bully busters. You come here, man. We make you feel good about yourself.
Sure.
That bullying stuff will end. We are the bully busters. Right here at UMAR Boxing.
Good stuff.
We are the bully busters.
Good stuff. Hey everybody, thanks for listening to, this is the first session we did in a while of Can My Child Play? This will be available on YouTube And man, we'll have the link posted up on all of our sites. So thank you again. Parents, stay safe. Do what you need to do to keep your student athlete safe and out of harm's way on all fields of competition. Have a good one. See you next time. Bye.